You know, in my business, I see a lot of old stuff, coins, jewelry, you name it. But every now and then, something truly special walks through that door. Something with a story that's just begging to be told. That's how I feel about Bhutanese silver coins. These aren't your everyday quarters or dimes. They come from a place called the Land of the Thunder Dragon, a kingdom high up in the Himalayas. Before they had proper coins, people in Bhutan just traded things. Yak butter, wool, rice, that was their money. It worked, but it wasn't always easy. Imagine trying to get change for a yak. It's a messy business. So how do you go from trading butter to minting silver? It all started a long time ago, around the 17th century. Bhutan was finally becoming a unified country under a leader named Shabdrung Ngawang Namgyal. He was a smart guy. He knew that to be a real nation, you need a few things: laws, a government, and your own money. Money is a symbol of power. It tells the world you're independent. So the first attempts at coinage began. These early pieces weren't perfect. In fact, they were pretty crude. They were mostly just bits of silver, hammered flat and stamped with simple designs. These first coins, often called May trums or Chi trums, were a huge deal. They were made from silver that was often sourced from Tibet or even India. Think about the journey that silver had to make. Carried over treacherous mountain passes on the backs of mules. Each coin was struck by hand. A guy would hold a die with a design on it, and another guy would hit it with a hammer. Because of this, no two coins were exactly alike. One might be a little thicker, another might have the design off-center. To a collector, that's not a flaw, that's character. It's the human touch. What's really cool about these early coins is what they didn't have. You won't find a picture of a king or a president on them. Instead, they were stamped with Buddhist symbols, things like the Wheel of Dharma or other lucky signs. This tells you everything you need to know about Bhutan. Their culture, their religion, and their government were all tied together. The coins weren't just for buying stuff. They were little pieces of their faith, something you could carry in your pocket. It was a way of spreading good fortune throughout the kingdom with every single transaction. It's a beautiful concept when you think about it. As Bhutanese society grew, the need for a more standardized currency became obvious. The early hammered coins were a good start, but they weren't consistent. Their weight and silver content could vary a lot. So, in the late 18th century, they started getting more organized. This is when the first real Bhutanese currency, the silver Deb rupee, came into play. These coins were modelled after the rupees being made by the British in nearby Cooch Behar in India. It was a practical move. People were already familiar with those coins, so making something similar made trade a whole lot easier for everyone involved. The process of making these coins was still very hands-on. You've got to picture the scene. A small workshop, probably smoky from a charcoal fire used to melt the silver. Craftsmen would pour the molten silver into molds to create blank coin discs. Then, the real artistry began. Each coin was individually placed on an anvil, and a skilled worker would strike it with a hammer and a die. The designs became more complex during this period. You started seeing more intricate geometric patterns and Tibetan script. The script often mentioned the name of the ruler or the year it was minted, which is gold for a historian like me. One of the most fascinating things about this era is the sheer variety. Because the dies were hand-engraved and wore out over time, they had to be constantly remade. The guy carving the new die might make a small change, either by accident or on purpose. Maybe he made a swirl a little different, or a letter a little bigger. This resulted in a huge number of variations for the same coin type. For a collector, this is a treasure hunt. Trying to find all the little variations is part of the fun. It's like a story that changes slightly with each telling, and the coins are the pages. These coins also tell a story of Bhutan's isolation. For centuries, the kingdom was closed off from much of the outside world. This meant their coin-making techniques didn't change much for a very long time. While Europe was building giant steam-powered presses to mint perfect identical coins, Bhutan was still hammering them out one by one. This isn't a knock on them. It's a testament to their self-reliance and their unique path. Holding one of these hand-struck coins is like holding a piece of that history. You can almost feel the hammer strike. It's a tangible link to a craftsman who lived hundreds of years ago. The 20th century changed everything for Bhutan, and its coins were no exception. The world was getting smaller, and Bhutan started opening up. A big moment came in 1928 under King Ugyen Wangchuck. He was a forward-thinking ruler who wanted to modernize his country. He knew that to trade with the world, Bhutan needed a currency that the world would recognize. This led to a huge shift. They started moving away from the old, hand-hammered silver coins and began producing machine-milled coins. This was a major step into the modern era for the kingdom's economy. The age of every coin being unique was coming to an end. The first machine-struck coins were still made of silver and copper, but they looked completely different. They were perfectly round, with uniform thickness and sharp, clear designs. They introduced coins with portraits of the reigning monarch, which was a big change from the purely religious symbols of the past. This showed Bhutan presenting itself to the world as a modern monarchy. They also introduced new denominations. But the biggest change was yet to come. The connection with their giant neighbour, India, was about to change their money forever. The old Deb rupee was slowly being replaced. In 1974, Bhutan made a monumental change. They introduced a new currency called the ngultram. And here's the key part. They pegged it directly to the Indian rupee. 1 ngultram was equal to 1 Indian rupee. This was a brilliant economic move. It stabilized their currency and made trade and business with India, their largest trading partner, seamless. From this point on, Bhutan's coins were mostly minted at the Indian government mint in Kolkata. The era of Bhutanese silver coins for circulation was officially over. The new coins were made of bronze, nickel, and other modern alloys. So what happened to all that silver? Well, silver became something for special occasions. Bhutan started minting beautiful commemorative silver coins. These aren't for buying groceries, they are for collectors and for celebrating important events. They've made coins for the coronation of a new king, for royal weddings, and even for international events like the Olympics or the FIFA World Cup. These modern silver coins are stunning works of art, often featuring incredibly detailed designs in high relief, sometimes with colour or gold plating. They carry on the legacy of Bhutanese silver, but in a new, modern way as items of beauty and prestige. So, why should an average person in America care about these old silver coins from a tiny kingdom in the mountains? Because they represent something we don't see much anymore. They represent a history that is physical and tangible. In a world of digital transactions and credit cards, we're losing our connection to money as a physical object. A Bhutanese silver coin is the opposite of that. It's a piece of history you can hold in your hand. You can see the hammer marks. You can feel the weight of the silver. You can trace the lines of a design that was carved by hand centuries ago. The value of these coins today goes far beyond the silver they contain. To a collector, they are prized for their rarity and historical significance. Finding an early, well-preserved martrum can be the highlight of a collector's career, but their true value is cultural. These coins are a symbol of Bhutan's unique identity. They trace the country's journey from an isolated, barter-based society to a modern nation. They show the deep importance of Buddhism in every aspect of Bhutanese life. They are, in a very real sense, small, metallic ambassadors for Bhutanese culture and heritage. They also tell a human story. Every imperfection on a hand-struck coin is a record of a human moment. Maybe the guy with the hammer was tired that day and didn't strike it perfectly centered. Maybe the engraver was feeling creative and added a little flourish. These aren't errors, they are footnotes to the story. They remind us that behind these historical artifacts were real people living their lives, doing their jobs. It's a connection across time that you just can't get from a perfectly manufactured object. It's what makes my job so interesting. Every object has a story to tell. In the end, the journey of Bhutanese silver coins is a mirror of the journey of Bhutan itself. It's a story of faith, of independence, and of careful adaptation to a changing world. From irregular silver pieces stamped with lucky symbols to modern collectible works of art, these coins have always been more than just money. They are a declaration of nationhood and a celebration of a unique culture. So the next time you see one, whether in a museum or at a pawn shop, take a closer look. You're not just looking at a piece of silver, you're looking at the soul of a kingdom, and that's something you can't put a price on.